my name is Rachel and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm gonna go over my November TBR. Now, I feel like in October, I did read quite a good amount of books that were all pretty good. And in September, I read a lot of books that were pretty good, but I also read a large quantity at the end of September. So I feel like I've been reading a lot the last couple months, and I am definitely still in a reading mood. There are still things that I want to get to. However, I am also a little bit in a mood to play Minecraft again. Nobody come for me. The children yearn for the mines. It is what it is. So I think in November, I'm going to focus on finishing the things I'm currently reading, which I'll talk about, and then doing my buzzword challenge as well as my book club pick. And then I want to leave myself just a little wiggle room to do some videos, or if I come up with any videos that involve reading a specific book, I can start those and not feel like I'm cramming everything in and pressured to just do everything all at once, or feel like I'm not letting myself enjoy my other hobbies. So without further ado, let's chat about what I'm currently reading. As of right now, I am about 50% of the way through A House with Good Bones, which I started on my cabin trip weekend that I just got back from yesterday, and I'm loving the writing so much. This is my first T. Kingfisher, and I'm really having a great time with it. This book is about a girl named Samantha who is an entomologist / archaeologist, and she is supposed to go on this field trip. Not field trip. She's not in elementary school. She's supposed to go on this dig site, and the trip gets canceled, but her roommates had already rented out her room for a couple of months to someone, because normally when she goes to the dig sites and has a job, it lasts a long time. So now she's like, oh shit, I need somewhere to stay. Hey mom, can I come stay with you? And her mom is like, of course honey, love you, of course. So she goes back to her home, which used to be her grandmother's house when she was a child, and then after her grandmother died, she left it to her mother. But she goes back to the house and she's like, mom, the house looks weird, why are you painting it white? You're a big fan of colors, why are you kind of dimming your personality in here? Why is the house changing? Why are you acting strange? And things just start getting spooky ooky. And I love the main character so far because she's very much witty and has a very subtle sarcastic humor to her, and I love her so much already. She's also plus size and she's smart and funny, and I just think that I relate to her a lot, even though I don't like bugs, weirdo, but I like the little bug facts she kind of throws in there. It makes me have a smaller appreciation for them. I definitely don't love bugs, don't get me wrong, but little fun facts about them are always cool to read, and I am really enjoying my time with this one, and it's so short, and I really hope to finish it this week. So you might see it in my October wrap up, but if not, I'm gonna continue it in November. Another book I'm also currently reading is the first Alcatraz book, Alcatraz versus the Evil Librarians. However, I'm just reading this one very slowly because my son actually started reading it with me. I just read the first chapter out loud to him on a whim one day when we were hanging out down here by my shelves, and he asked me to keep going. So I've been reading one chapter here and there out loud with him before bed. They are quite long, so he does have a little bit of trouble focusing for more than 4 pages at a time, but it's the first time that he's ever been interested in a chapter book. So I've been really loving reading that out loud to him and getting to experience a Brandon Sanderson middle grade with him for the first time. So that will also carry over into November. I'm also currently 50 pages into The Lies of Loch Lamora by Scott Lynch. This is about a young boy who is an orphan, and he gets trained to be a thief, and he's kind of just an annoying kid at first, and then he grows up to be someone who's called the Thorn of Camor, which is the city he kind of steals in and stuff, and I am liking it so far. I don't know what it is about the writing style, but every time I read it, I feel like it's taking me so long to get through it. But again, I am really enjoying it, and I think maybe because I was expecting it to start off in his adult life and it started off with him as a kid, that it kind of threw me a little bit. So I'm just having to readjust my expectations. However, I am liking it. Again, I'm not far, so I can't say much more than that, but I do really want to buckle down and work on this week, as well as A House with Good Bones. I think today is October 28th. I have no concept of time sometimes. Today's October 28th, and I would love to maybe get to like page 150 of this by November 1st. So you'll definitely be seeing me talk about this in my November wrap up, but this is another one that I really want to focus on, and those are the only 2 books that I'm currently reading. So if I can get those out of the way nice and early, that would be great. In November, my book club, The Reading Realm, which is linked down below. Check the Discord if you want to join the book club, because we will be starting Valor in mid-November. Now this book is absolutely a chonka. So we're going to be reading this from mid-November until mid-January, and the reason for that is because it is huge, and there's going to be the holiday season coming up. So I wanted to make sure that the people who want to participate have time to participate with this, and then our next pick will be from mid-January until the end of February, which will work out nicely because February is a shorter month. So we'll give that other pick about a month's worth of time as well, and then hopefully our schedule will even out and we'll actually do 1 book a month next year. But I am not a very strict book club host. I love to stretch our books out and let people read at their own pace, and the discussion boards are always open even after we're done reading them, so people can always participate whenever they have time. This is the sequel to Malice, and Malice is about it's about so many things that I feel like I can't say anything without spoiling it. But essentially, there used to be a war like centuries ago, but it was like gods and giants versus humans and these other like creatures, and there's all these mythological creatures that are starting to come back to life, and people in the present day in Malice are like, oh my god, like these creatures are coming back and like making a comeback, which means the prophecy is coming true. And the prophecy basically states that there's going to be like a chosen villain and a chosen hero, and they're basically going to like signify the second coming of this war. So we're just following along a lot of different POVs of people in this whole kingdom who are people that are entwined in the plot and are either directly affected by the prophecy that's happening, or they like want power and they're like grasping at straws to get it. So I highly recommend it. At the end of Malice, I was left with so many questions, and I cannot wait to continue with Valor in November. So I really want to speed through Locke if I can, because that's our current Reading Realm book club pick, but I really want to get through Locke so I can pick up Malice. She is huge and I'm scared. And one more book that I didn't get to in October that I would love to get to in November, which should be easy for me to pick up and finish quickly because it's middle grade, is Festegrim by Thomas Taylor. This is this the 3rd? This is the 4th book in the Legends of Irion Sea series, and in that series we follow a little boy named Herbie and a little girl named Violet, and they are just investigators and adventurers at heart. And in the first book we see them kind of solving this mystery that involves like a monster as well as like a sinister plot to do with it, and they are just so cute, and I find these books really atmospheric and really fun. They are a little bit formulaic, but I mean it's middle grade, so like that's great for the age range that it is, because it kind of helps teach kids. I think when you use a formulaic approach to middle grade with a series like this, I do think it kind of helps teach kids like the ebb and flow of storytelling, and so it doesn't like bother me at all. But I love these ones so much, and I can't wait to read this one too. And I know that this one is a little spooky, which is why I had picked it for October for my Spookopoly roll. Nobody tell Becca, but I failed Spookopoly. But I hope I can make room for this one in November as well. Again, it's small and it's middle grade, so I really shouldn't have any problems flying through this also. And the buzzword reading challenge pick for November is the word only, and I am really still kind of in the creepy mood from October. Like I really still kind of want to read some horror. So for this one, I'm going to be reading The Only Good Indians by Stephen Graham Jones. I literally have no idea what this is about. The only thing I know is that it's about some boys who live on a reservation, I think, and there is a curse on the land, maybe. That's all I know, but I don't really want to know much because it's like a horror, and I feel like sometimes with horror, if you know too much about the plot, it doesn't creep you out and it doesn't scare you. So I'm gonna go in pretty unaware for that one, but I have read My Heart is a Chainsaw by the same author and loved it, so I'm really hopeful that I'll like this one too. Also in November, I'm going to be reading a book picked by my friend Kat on Instagram, because I had posted a picture on my stories from me editing my 1-star review video just making the absolute most grotesque face. And I said that if you can guess what book I'm bitching about, I'll let you pick a book on my November TBR. And Kat accurately guessed that it was Zodiac Academy. So Kat gave me 4 options and then said, roll a d4. So I did, and I rolled a 1, and the first option was Lost Gods by Brahm. This is going to be my first Brahm book if I get to it. Again, I make TBRs all the time, and then I don't think I ever finish them, which is a problem, and I need to stop doing that. But assuming I read this, it will be my first Brahm. I did want to read Slewfoot. Why did I say that? Slewfoot. I did want to read Slewfoot this month in October, and I was planning on reading it at the cabin, but my first night there, I got really creeped out and had to like scroll on social media to kind of like ease my fear. So I didn't get as much reading done as I had hoped, even though I still did so much. I wanted to really try to squeeze I wanted to really try to squeeze in 3 short books, but I got through 1.5, which is still great progress, so I'm not mad at it. But that being said, this will be my first book by Brahm, and I don't know what it's about. Again, it is a horror, so I don't really want to know too much about the plot because I don't want to be given too much information before I dive on in. I actually have never read the synopsis or heard anyone talk about the synopsis, and I'm not going to read it now, so I'm so sorry if you would like to know what this is about because I don't want to know what it's about. So I'm not gonna tell you. I'm so sorry. Another thing I would love to get to in November is to finish the Tokyo Ghoul series. I'm on volume 8, so I would need to read volumes 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. However, that's a lot of manga. So I will hopefully make progress in that series in November so I can end my year in December by finishing it off. I would probably assume that I'll be able to read volumes 8, 9, and 10. My TBR is a little ambitious, as I just said at the beginning of this video. I'm gonna give myself some wiggle room, but I feel like the middle grade and the manga, it won't take me so long to read, so I feel like that counts as wiggle room. I say that now, and yet I'm probably going to end up not completing another TBR. Surprise! Shocker! Who would have guessed? Not me. I am not really a mood reader. Like, I like to make TBRs, but then I find myself like bouncing all over the TBR, and then I either don't finish it or I do end up picking up random things as well. So I guess I'm like a half and half TBR girl and a mood reader. So we'll see what happens in November. I also, like I said, kind of want to play some Minecraft, and I got a lot of videos to edit in the next couple days. So I don't know. We're just gonna go with the flow in November, I guess. Let's just call it No Rules November. Well, that's everything I hope to get to next month. And if you've made it this far in the video, please leave a robot down in the comments, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!